Well, first up on the bulletin, big breaking news which is coming in. Big verdict coming in from the Supreme Court regarding the UP Madrassas validity. In fact, the app was, remember, passed in the UP Assembly. However, it was struck down. It has now been upheld. The Supreme Court has said that the board doesn't interfere with madrassas at all. In fact, the Supreme Court has pointedly said that the stated obligated is to ensure standards as well of education. In fact, let me go across to Bhavtosh, who's joining us, as well as Adeep with all the details. Bhavtosh, very interesting observations. Can you take us through some of them? Because the Supreme Court has also said that the state has power to regulate madrasas.
Well, Meghna, that's the most important takeaway that we can find in the judgment. It has set aside the Allahabad High Court March judgment. It has declared that U.P Madrassa Education Act as unconstitutional. It has set aside that. It has further said that the state can regulate functioning of madrasas so that students can attain a level of competency. Object purpose of Madrassa Board is regulatory in nature. Its mere establishment will not breach secularism. Our legal editor, in fact, is inside the Supreme Court, and he has also given us a regular update. It has also said it is consistent with the positive obligation of state which leads to persons earning decent living. But one of the more important points of this order, in fact, it has not yet become, the entire order has not yet been uploaded, is the provisions of Madrassas Act, which deals with Fazil and Kamil dealing with higher education, is in conflict with the UGC Act and is thus set aside as unconstitutional. Remember, there are two degrees, Meghna, that are given by the madrasa. One is Fazil and other two degrees are given by them. They have now been in fact been said as unconstitutional. So madrasas on their own cannot give degrees. It has been set aside as unconstitutional. State can regulate madrasas. In fact, UP Chief Minister Mr. Yogi Adityanath had said that state can intervene in the regulation of madrasas. There was, in fact, has led to a lot of consternation between BJP and opposition. So Supreme Court has said that state can regulate madrasas. They have powers to do so. Importantly, it has set aside the Allahabad High Court order, which has in fact set aside the UP Education Regulation of Madrassa Act 2004. And one more important point that Supreme Court has said, it has said that the degrees that have been given by madrasa as unconstitutional. So any degree that has been given by madrasas, it has said that those are unconstitutional. But also importantly, Supreme Court has said that madrasas are not promoting any kind of communalism. They are secular in nature.
Well, in fact, do stay on with us. Let me go across to Adeep. Adeep, as we all know, this is big news which is coming in, not just legally speaking, because now there's going to be a legal framework for the curriculum of the madrasa, which will be set by the state. But also there has been a lot of politics over it. There has been a lot of opposition over it. I believe you have Maulana Khalid Rashid, who's joining us as well. Why don't you speak to him about the Supreme Court now upholding this law, which was opposed to by many, including him?
Well, definitely, Meghna, see, it's a big relief for the Uttar Pradesh Madrassa Board, as the High Court called it unconstitutional in March this year. But the Supreme Court has now said that the Madrassa Board and the education coming under the Madrassa Board is constitutional. We are joined by Maulana Khalid Rashid Firangi Meli. Sir, Supreme Court has said that the Madrassa Board is constitutional, and it has the verdict which were given by the Allahabad High Court. The Supreme Court has said that now the Madrassa Boards are fully constitutional.
Yes, we welcome the decision of the Honorable Supreme Court in which it has given its clear verdict that the Uttar Pradesh Madrassa Act is constitutional. And in the past, when the Honorable High Court, Allahabad High Court, have declared it unconstitutional, then hundreds and thousands of teachers and students' future was in danger. But now, after this decision of the Supreme Court, we all have a sigh of relief.
But the Supreme Court has also said that the state has a vital interest in regulating the standards of madrasas, and the state will now look how they can regulate the madrasas for betterment of the madrasa and the education that is being provided in madrasa. madrasas?
There is always a scope of improvement in all the sectors of life, in all the walks of life, and education is a field in which there is a great need of improving the standard with the passage of time. And we have already introduced English, Hindi and computers in our madrasas, and we will continue to do so. And as the Honorable Supreme Court has said, we will also try to improve the standard of our madrasa education.
So maybe you heard Maulana Khalid Rashid Firangi Meli, he's saying that there's always a scope for the improvement and betterment in the madrasa education, and we welcome the decision that the Supreme Court has given with regards to the madrasas of Uttar Pradesh.
Well, absolutely. In fact, let me go across to Bhavtosh. Bhavtosh, can you take us through some of the very relevant points which are coming in? The most important one is that the state can indeed improve education standards within madrasas, because one of the contentions which was made by the UP government when the Allahabad High Court had suggested that the entire act be scrapped is, if required, make amendments to the act, make changes to it, but don't scrap it.
Yes, Meghna, in fact, even when the arguments were going on, the Chief Justice of India had said that what is wrong with the Parliament or a state legislature enacting a law to regulate such institutions only to ensure that while training young minds, they are trained in a manner conducive to the quality of secular education and broader national interest. So the Chief Justice of India, even at that point, was asking, in fact, was telling the lawyers and also the counsels who were present before him that the government is within its right to regulate madrasas. So he had in fact said so even while the arguments were going on. But as far as other contentious issue, whether madrasas are promoting are communal in nature, he in fact was not agreeing to it. In fact, another point that he had said before when the hearing was going on, and it's very important, Meghna,
right.
He said that religious instruction is not something which is unique to Muslims. There is religious instructions among Christians, Jews, Hindus and Sikhs. It is a country which is a melting point of culture, civilization and religion.
Right.
Back to you.
Well, Bhavtosh, do stay on with us. IP Singh of the Samajwadi Party is joining us. IP Singh ji, आपका क्या फर्स्ट रिएक्शन होगा? समाजवादी पार्टी का क्या फर्स्ट रिएक्शन है? क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला है that the state has the right कि वो मदरसा एजुकेशन को एक स्टैंडर्डाइज किया जाए और उसमें वो बताए कि कैसे लीगल फ्रेमवर्क में लाना चाहिए.
और देखिए, अभी उस जो फैसला माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आया उसका अध्ययन हमने ठीक से नहीं किया है, लेकिन निजी संपत्ति को लेकर जिस तरह से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने और मालिकाना हक को लेकर और इसके भौतिक सत्यापन आदि की बात कही है, कहीं कहीं सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो 1978 का जो आयोग के निर्णय थे उसको पलटा है. उसमें कहीं कहीं ये देखने की जरूरत होगी कि संपत्तियों का सरकार द्वारा अध्ययन किया जा सकता है या नहीं. कई गंभीर इसमें मामले हैं. अभी ये अध्ययन करने के बाद भी कहा जा सकता है कि ये सही है या गलत है.
मगर सीजेआई ने बोला है कि स्टेट डज हैव द वाइटल इंटरेस्ट इन एंश्योरिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स. स्टैंडर्ड अगर एक सेट किया जाए, मदरसा में हो, एनसीईआरटी टेक्स्ट बुक फॉलो करते हुए एक करिकुलम किसी गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में हो, इसमें एतराज क्या है? Isn't it a good thing कि स्टैंडर्डाइज हो जाएंगे, जो मदरसे में भी बच्चे पढ़े वो एनसीईआरटी भी पढ़े और अपनी रिलीजियस तालीम भी ले?
देखिए, सरकार कभी वक्फ बोर्ड की बात करती है, कभी सीएए लेके आती है, कभी मदरसा एक्ट को सही ठहराती है, कभी तो सरकार का जो नजरिया है.
मगर ये सरकार ने नहीं ठहराया आईपी सिंह जी, ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला.
अरे सुन लीजिए, सरकार उन मुद्दों को फाइट करती है अदालतों के बीच जी, अपनी बात पुटअप करती है. कौन मनमाफिक बेंच है, उस बेंच में उस मामले को ले जाती है और उसे सही ठहराया जाता है
सुप्रीम कोर्ट.
तो इसलिए चाहे सुप्रीम कोर्ट हो, चाहे हाई कोर्ट हो, चाहे निचली 18,000 जो अदालतें हैं उसमें है, बिना सरकार के सहमति के कोई फैसला देश में नहीं होता.
तो आप बोल रहे सुप्रीम कोर्ट कॉम्प्रोमाइज है आईपी सिंह जी? इट्स द हाईएस्ट कोर्ट ऑफ अ लैंड. आईपी सिंह जी, आप कैसे बोल सकते हैं? इट इज एन इंडिपेंडेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन. इट्स वन ऑफ द पिलर्स ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. अनिला सिंह जी of the BJP is also joining us. Would you like to respond to him? Anila Singh ji, IP Singh saying that सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी जो फैसले हैं बीजेपी के ऑन द डायरेक्शंस ऑफ द बीजेपी होते हैं?
My Ramaram to all, and Samajwadi Party has totally lost it because they know that who is their vote bank. They have always ridiculed Hindus, and they have always somehow sheltered one particular religious community people because of their vote bank. So I am not at all surprised what Mr. I.P. Singh is saying. But I know one thing, when we say that we are a secular country, why these people keep on crying, keep on hauling that we should have madrasa education, we should have this, we should not have your temples reconstructed, save our masjid. What is this? So if I talk about the minorities living in this great nation of ours, Bharat, then why one particular religious community keeps on saying that protect us, protect us, protect us?
Right.
It is not like that. The only thing is we need to be very, very progressive, and the regressive education which is being taught.
Okay, so you are saying there's a big step towards progressive education in madrasas. Let me go across to also Rashid Alvi of the Congress Party, Akhilesh Pratap Singh of the Congress Party as well. Both of them are joining us. Anila Singh ji, do stay on with us. Rashid Alvi ji, how do you view this? Because there's already politics which has broken out. But what the Supreme Court has said essentially that the state has every right to institutionalize, to standardize education in madrasas.
You know, this is our constitution which gives this right to minorities to run their institutions according to their religion, according to their culture, according to their wishes. And that is the reason. Madrasa is not a new thing. Madrasas are being run for a very, very long time. And there is, what is the problem of Bharatiya Janata Party as far as madrasas are concerned? Madrasas in every state, wherever BJP is ruling, they are, I do not know why he's scared of madrasas.
But it's not the BJP. The Supreme Court in its wisdom today has said that it is okay to standardize. If the state standardizes the education, it is not against religious talim. That will continue as it does in any other religion as well, Rashid Alvi.
No, I welcome this decision of the Supreme Court. But it is a constitution which gives this right to minorities to run their institutions, and even whether it is university or college or madrasa. And you know, madrasa is a religious schools. Madrasas are at a very low level. You know, poor people, children of poor people.
Absolutely, which is why they have the right for proper education, for NCERT textbook education as well, because that's what this law will ensure. Well, thank you so much, Rashid Alvi. Let me quickly go across to Harish, who's joining us, our legal editor. He was inside the courtroom. Harish, big news that you've been getting us minute-by-minute updates. Can you tell us quickly what the salient observations are, if you can sum it up for us?
Yes, in fact, the bench led by the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, making it very clear that mere establishment of Madrassa Board will not have any effect on secularism. And remember, during the hearing also, the Supreme Court had said secularism essentially means live and let live, and also said that the state has a duty, or in fact, a bounded duty to ensure that these students in these madrasas attain a minimum level of competence and basic standard of education. That in that regard, the state has power to interfere and regulate the Madrassa Board, but the madrasas cannot be wished away. The High Court was wrong in fact striking down the U.P Madrassa Educational Act, as per which 17,000 madrasas were established in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So this judgment coming in as a big relief for around 13 lakh students studying there, and also around 35,000 teachers. Remember, the High Court had, while striking down the UP Education, this Madrassa Act, said that basic qualitative education and standards are not being met by these madrasas who were only imparting religious education, and had said that all these teachers and students be absorbed into a mainstream government schools. So big relief coming in for the UP madrasas, around 17,000 of them, and also the students and teachers who are facing a bleak
Absolutely.
future as far as the High Court judgment was concerned, which was earlier stayed by the Supreme Court before going ahead with the hearing.